Good morning. I'm Julio Saenz along with Mauricio Riveros. Today we'll meet Connie Marple and Sylvia Johnson, two of the new owners of Women of Color New York, a unique new business that combines beauty, fashion, and wellness.
We hope you'll be inspired.
Celebrating leaders in Rochester's unique and vibrant business community. We'll meet entrepreneurs whose passion and perseverance have helped push through life's challenges. Join us as we share their stories and journeys to success. It's time to be inspired.
Hi, Connie and Sylvia. It's really nice to have you in our show, Be Inspired, a show that we developed to inspire our community, to interview people like you, entrepreneurs, people who are starting business, people who believe in Rochester. And for that reason, we want to learn who is Connie and Sylvia.
Okay, well, I'll go first. I'm Connie, and I am a wife. I'm a mother. I am a business owner and an entrepreneur. I'm a woman of color, and I am committed to making a difference in the lives of others, whether through my church, my business, or the people around me.
And I am Sylvia Johnson. I too am a wife, a mother, woman of color, an entrepreneur. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I deliver mental health services to the community.
Well, that's wonderful, and thank you so much for being in Be Inspired. So let's start about your story. Tell us a little bit your background, where did you grow up, and what was that idea to start the business? So tell us a little bit about more of you.
Wow. Well, I guess we can start at where I grew up. I grew up in Philadelphia. I moved to Rochester when I was 16. My dad worked at Kodak. So we've been here for quite a while. So I guess now I'm a Rochesterian. I'm a retired dental hygienist. And I also just completed my bachelor's degree over at Buff State, which was in fashion design. So it actually helped me launch what we have here now at Women of Color New York. Our business stands on the pillars of fashion, beauty, and wellness. So I am actually overseeing the fashion part of this business.
And I was born and raised in Rochester. And I spent, before returning back to graduate school and getting my license to be a clinical social worker, I worked for 20 years in urban development for a major youth serving agency. And that allowed me to go into the community, into the homes of the families. One of my jobs was to find out why the urban community or marginalized communities were not fully participating in that youth program. And then that allowed me to actually go in. We weren't getting them to come out to talk to us. So I said, well, let me just go in there and knock on some doors and do a grassroots effort. And so what I found was all of the different barriers. It's not that they didn't want the program, but there was just so many other social stressors, or what we call determinants of how they didn't have access to, that wouldn't make it equitable easier for them to participate. And so then they started telling me their stories, and I thought, wow, oh, this is way beyond just not having the finances to do this program. So then I said, and then people just kind of found it easy to tell me about what was going on. Mm-hmm. And then I said, you know what? I need to bring more awareness to these other social stressors and these other issues, mental health issues, that are keeping people from being able to be fully present and finding who they are and becoming the people that they want to be. Mm-hmm. And so I said, you know what? I was able to be born into a family that was able to move from the city and go out to where there were better schools and there were more opportunities. And I had more people believing that you could be successful and giving me that push. And I just knew if you had the right resources and you have the right individuals, it didn't matter where you started, you can get there. You just need to connect, get somebody that can help you connect that and define your path for you, and kind of say it is it. We can weed out all of that other things that are holding you back, and give that push. And so when after going back to graduate school at Roberts, I said, and I'm your non-traditional student. I started with a business degree as undergrad was in business. I said, you know what? I end up doing more of the social side. And I would find research for this to get them into this program. Okay, let me fix this, and then I'll get you to this and that. So I said, you know what? Doesn't matter. Even though I was competing against 20-year-olds, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do it. This is what I've always wanted to do. Then an opportunity came as I already had started a private practice, focusing in on those multi-systemic years, and doing mind, body, spirit. And then here was Connie said, you know what? I have this practice and I need a wellness piece. I want to get the total body. And I thought back to because mental health in the African American community, there was a stigma associated with it. So who did we tell our stories to when we were struggling? And I thought about when I was getting my hair done, the hairdresser is usually who I just kind of vented, and all this stuff is going on and everything is happening. And she was just listening. And one of the easiest ways to have somebody see themselves differently is say, let me go make you feel better. Is to get a makeover. Beauty. To get a new so we stopped and we went shopping, and I was just crying, and then she did my hair and did makeup, and I saw myself different. And I saw the possibility of maybe I didn't feel so good inside, but I sure look great.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, and really the creation of synergies. Synergies and coordination, and be able to think outside of the box. I think it's fundamental. And let me ask you this question. You have mentioned the opportunities, and you have mentioned the challenges. And being a woman and woman of color, what's the message to women of color who are watching right now the show and seeing, you can do it. If I was able to do it, you can do it. So what is the message? What are the key recommendations that you send to your community?
I think one of the biggest things was when I first came out, I felt like isolated. I knew that there were other women of color in therapy, but we were just all over, and it was just hard to connect. And the nature of the business kept you working. But I think the biggest thing was to be open to collectively. And we know that we are naturally a business, people that work better as a collective team. And that if you can say, you know what, I might be able to get this far, but imagine what I can do when we can pool all of our resources. We all may not have those. We all have different connections. We all have different alliances that can say, oh, well, I know somebody who does this, and that. And then we can get so much more if you are willing to say, you know what, I do have a piece, but I'm gonna share to help make it bigger and better for not just me, but for everybody else.
I think it's being selfless too.
Yeah.
We could be a business by ourselves, but just to be able to be in the room with like-minded women, it strengthens us. There's a scripture that says iron sharpens iron, so one woman sharpens another. So I think when you think that thought and you're willing to give, I'm willing to support, Sylvia's business in I Evolve Me Wellness. She's willing to support Charlie Style. We're willing to support Goddess Glow and Shayla's business. So I think as a collective, it's really unique because individually we're running our businesses, but we're always thinking about
how can
the other business.
How can we be for someone else?
Yeah,
to come here.
And
how
we want to
leave that door open?
It's such a unique concept, and there's so much potential there. Where do you see this business in 5 years?
Wow.
We
Wow.
see this business taking over the country. You'll see women of color, not just in New York,
Yeah.
but women of color moving around
In
and we see-
Pennsylvania,
yes,
we're
and-
in Florida,
yeah.
we're in,
yes, everywhere that we said, or I said, oh, I want to have one of these sessions for of Rochester. Then I thought, that's kind of limited.
Yeah.
Let's go all over. And I think that it's unlimited because there's just so many different ideas. Everybody has been given this talent. Everybody has something to make them successful on this side.
Absolutely. And we're always
so we were
giving
just
and
like,
talking and having
how can we
discussions.
devolve that,
Mhm.
evolve for and for the next group?
Yeah.
And so we just see that we can just.
You know what, I told my husband, I said, you know what, the space seems to be shrinking. I think we've outgrown the space. He said, you can't outgrow a place you haven't even opened yet, but it's just so much life and so much energy in here. I could see the makeup artists and the lash techs and even, with Silver.
Yes.
You just see all those possibilities here. So we're dreaming outside of these walls, and we see it being remembering, our grand opening, but knowing in 5 years that this is going to be even bigger. We're going to be around in 5 years, in 10 years, and 15 years, and hopefully mentoring and continuing to grow women of color New York.
Well, thank you, Connie and Sylvia. We'll be back with more after these messages.
What makes your business and why people should come to your place? I always said this is the key. People have options.
Yes.
But they need to know what is that one thing that should drive your clientele to come and visit you guys.
I feel like it would be inclusion. Every woman is welcome here. I mean, I think sometimes the title may throw people off a little bit because we're called Women of Color New York, but we're inclusive. We're a business that you can still come here and find yourself. We're all women of color, but like I said, we are a group of women that we're welcoming, we're inviting. We've been in places where we're not welcomed and we're not inviting, but we are the opposite of that. We want people to feel good when they come in here and leave even better, a better person when they leave. It could be just in something or having a discussion with Sylvia, or just coming in to say hello or getting a cup of coffee. We are unique that way. I feel like we are going to definitely make a difference here in the South Wedge, sitting on this corner of South and Hamilton. We've got these big windows. We see the people passing by, and there's so much diversity here. We feel good here. We feel welcome here. So I think just sitting on this corner, it's going to be just opening up.
And it's wonderful to have people in just the shops going in and just seeing us coming back and saying welcome, to have a woman of color being an entrepreneur and seeing them on the South Avenue. I haven't come on a shop to see a person of color, and it's not just African American. Sometimes they say that, and it's like, well, there's all kinds of colors, and
that's right. That's right.
And we are glad and we are happy that it is all of the hues there, and we see that when they see that, they'll see it's not just one particular of color. Right. It is all of them together.
What role does digital play in your business model? I mean, now, something like makeovers and many of the things that you described definitely will always have a brick and mortar component. But as we saw during COVID, everybody had to develop some form of online component to the business. How are you using the internet and media with your business?
Well, as a therapist, I use all of those formats. Of COVID, we quickly had to change, and so we'll do virtual sessions, telephone sessions, and even with beauty and makeup. And as you do lessons online, that is also how they can participate as well. We have a demonstration in YouTube, and it was the TikTok that the younger ones are using, where they would go in and showcase something. Maybe we have a little fashion show on where they can see, because she also does personal styling. So you have that event. What this is what you might want to do. So if we're ready, if COVID said we can't come in the store, well, we know how to use that platform and to sell. Because we've had to adapt.
Yeah.
And if it's one thing, over and over and over.
Yeah.
And that's how we figure we would do that. We would, you can put us in front of the television. We can sell it.
That's
We
right.
can do it.
We hope so.
Yeah.
But we have actually a lower level here and down. I actually nicknamed it the Bib, which is a business in the basement. We have an online store that's going to be opening for us. So anything here that can be sold, and if we had to close the doors, you could actually go through our online store that's being developed. But as far as services, I have seen people go online and have services done in the way of being taught, because they did have to reinvent themselves. And I think that we're going to still have those kind of things on, even though people are out. Why take them away? You might as well keep using those resources and those platforms to be able to sell whatever it is that you're selling.
That is wonderful. And I have one last question. And the question goes in terms of team building. How you guys can develop that synergy. Sometimes working with others is difficult. People have different perspectives, different initiatives. So how you create, what's the magic to make it work, all together, common vision, all coming together and trying to find that team synergy. What are the keys?
Well, we've done one team building event already.
Yes.
We went on a pedal tour. I don't know if you know what that is. You probably do. Where you bicycle through the city. We had to all do it together. And then at some stops, we would jump off, give our business cards to the people that were in the area. Then we had to get up. We know we needed to make that bike move, and we all came together to do that. So I would just think about how we can bring that thought and even into growing the business, that we know that we're here to support each other. We know that it's going to be a team effort, but we're all bringing something to the table.
And I think just knowing that we are here and open and wanting, and we don't all have to be experts at everything, and recognizing that we aren't in competition with each other. We're here to help each other.
That's right.
Somebody might have an idea that could help you. And this just makes it, it's just easy, because we know we all want to be our collective successful together. So this person's out making it, not just thinking about how to make Evolve Me successful, but how to make women of color as the group, and saying I'm part of something. And I think that's where the magic is that I have my own individual business, but I'm part of something bigger. And you're more open to, okay, well, this is the big thing. It's not just about me. And I think that's what makes it easier. So we are, as we're going, we are evolving. How often should we get together? And what's going to be, how are we going to set the topics? And it's just, we are learning together, and doing team building and as we go, just based on the magic of, we want to open the door and keep it open for somebody coming after us. So let's put our best foot forward and be an open mind and share through the wealth of resources that we have.
Before we even got together, we didn't know each other.
No.
So when I was seeking out the pieces together for Women of Color New York, I knew, like I said, we wanted to have fashion, we wanted to have beauty, we wanted to have wellness. But besides the makeup artist, who is actually my niece, Olivia Travis, everyone else was a referral from somebody that I trusted. So Sylvia actually came in through my pastor, because she does have our location there in our church, but everybody was sent to me from somebody that I trusted. And everyone who I offered and talked to them about having a space here with us, everybody said yes. There was no no's. We actually started a waiting list, because people are trying to get in to be part of Women of Color New York. But I think it'd be amazing. We are really blessed to have this opportunity to support each other, to grow our own business. And even this time when we were invited to come and be able to speak even tonight, we just thought, we're going to be in here doing a little business, but we've got invitations to come and speak and be interviewed and share some time with people that we never would have thought we would be meeting. So it's just a great opportunity for us.
Sylvia, Connie, has been refreshing to hear your vision, see where you guys are going. It's really impressive. I love that. Bring the hope in Rochester. We believe that Rochester, amazing place, and it's because people like you, people who are investing in this town, people who want to keep the best. So for that reason, you have inspired us today, and I'm sure that we will continue to interview in the future and see. And please, we would love to have the other partners and to come and to continue to promote the good momentum that we are having. And we are overcoming COVID and we are overcoming many challenges that we have. But I know that we overcome challenges because of people like you. So thank you very much for being inspired. And I'm sure we will have in the future. Thank you.
Coming up next week on Be Inspired, we'll meet Luciano Valdez, a young business leader with a unique international perspective on business and generational differences.
To watch today's episode and the complete interviews of our guests, go to rochesterfirst.com/beinspired. For more great talk with Rochester's entrepreneurs, listen to Bodette 97.1 Saturdays at 9 a.m. For Mauricio Riveros, I'm Julio Saenz. We'll see you next week on Be Inspired.